The rain was coming down in heavy, slanting sheets when Marcus finally pulled the delivery van into the narrow alley behind the converted warehouse that served as headquarters for Elevate Collective. I killed the engine and sat there for a moment, listening to the water hammer the roof like impatient fingers. My phone buzzed again in the cup holder. 7th text from Lauren in the last 20 minutes. Where are you? Meeting started 15 minutes ago. Everyone's waiting. I exhaled slowly, wiped fog from the inside of the windshield with the heel of my hand, and typed back one word. Here. The back door of the building swung open before I even had the keys out of the ignition. Lauren stood there under the overhang, arms folded, wearing the charcoal blazer she always put on when investors were in the room. Her hair was perfect despite the humidity. She didn't smile. "You're soaked," she said as I jogged up the 3 concrete steps. It wasn't concern. It was observation, the way someone might note that a presentation slide was misaligned. Traffic was bad. Then the storm hit. I shook water off my jacket. "Sorry I'm late." She glanced at her watch, rose gold, the one her father gave her when she closed her first 7-figure round. Then back at me. "They're asking about the delivery metrics again. You know how they get when the numbers aren't front and center." I nodded. I knew. Inside, the open plan space smelled of expensive coffee and fresh whiteboard markers. 15 people sat around the long reclaimed wood table. 3 venture partners in tailored navy suits, 2 junior associates taking notes, and the rest of our core team looking like they'd rather be anywhere else. Lauren slid into her usual spot at the head of the table without breaking stride. "Marcus is here," she announced, as though I were a late-arriving slide deck. "Let's pick up where we left off." I took the empty chair beside her, the one that used to feel like mine by right. No one asked how the last drop-off went. No one asked why my shirt was clinging to my shoulders. They just resumed talking about churn rate, customer lifetime value, and the shiny new partnership with the celebrity fitness app that Lauren had personally negotiated. I listened. I nodded at the right moments. When one of the VCs asked me directly about the driver retention numbers, I gave the answer I'd rehearsed in the van. Improving, but still a concern, especially in the outer boroughs. Lauren's foot tapped once under the table, her subtle signal that I should wrap it up faster. Afterward, when the investors had shaken hands and left with their leather folios, the room exhaled. Lauren stayed seated, scrolling through her phone. I waited until the last team member drifted toward the kitchenette before I spoke. "I need to talk to you." She didn't look up. "Can it wait? I have a call with Tokyo in 20. It's about the party tonight." Her thumb paused mid-scroll. "The launch party? What about it?" "I'm supposed to pick you up at 7. Black car, right? Because the branding team decided the matte gray Tesla looks better in photos than my van." She finally met my eyes. "It's not about your van looking bad, Marcus. It's about optics. Consistency. The whole point of tonight is to project that we're the seamless, premium experience." Showing up in a cargo van with the company logo half peeled off the side doesn't exactly scream luxury logistics. I felt the familiar tightness start behind my sternum. I've been driving that van 16 hours a day for 3 years. It's how we got the first 500 customers. Before any of those fancy cars existed. "I know that," she said, softer now, reaching over to touch my wrist. "And I appreciate it. You know I do. But tonight isn't about the grind anymore. Tonight is about the next chapter." I looked at her fingers on my skin. Clean, manicured nails. No calluses. "I'm not coming tonight." Her hands stilled. "What?" "I'm not driving you. I'm not standing in the corner holding a sparkling water while people congratulate you on how effortlessly you built all of this. I pulled my arm back slowly. I'm done being the support staff. Lauren blinked once, twice. Then she laughed. A short, surprised sound that didn't reach her eyes. You're tired. It's been a long day. You don't mean that. I do. She leaned forward, voice dropping to the intimate register she used when she wanted to close a deal. Marcus, babe, this is our night. We talked about this. You said you were proud of what we're building. I am proud. I'm proud of what you're building. I'm just not sure anymore that I'm part of the blueprint. Her expression shifted, confusion giving way to something sharper. You're being dramatic. This one party. One ride in a rented car. You're acting like I asked you to wear a costume and serve drinks. You didn't ask me to wear a costume, I said quietly. You just asked me not to be seen. The words landed heavier than I expected. The room felt suddenly too large, the exposed brick walls too close. Lauren stared at me for a long beat. Then she stood, smoothing her blazer. I have to take this call. We'll talk later. When you're not emotional. She walked toward the glass conference room at the far end, already lifting the phone to her ear. I watched her go, watched the way she squared her shoulders, reset her face, became the version of herself the world paid to see I didn't follow. Instead, I walked back through the rain to the van, climbed inside, and sat in the driver's seat with the door open, letting the water pool on the rubber mat. My phone lit up again. A calendar reminder. Launch party 7 p.m., the standard, Highline rooftop. I swiped it away. The apartment was quiet when I got home. Lauren's shoes, the tall black ones with the red soles, were neatly lined up by the door. Her laptop bag hung on its hook. Everything in its place that I went straight to the spare room we'd always called the office. Though neither of us ever really used it for work. My things were mostly there already. The tool bag from when I still fixed things for people on weekends, the box of vinyl records I'd stopped playing when she said the turntable took up too much visual real estate, the old Carhartt jacket I wore on winter deliveries before we could afford heated seats in the fleet. I pulled the 2 suitcases from under the daybed. They were the ones we'd bought for the trip to Tulum we never took because she got invited to a tech summit in Lisbon instead. I packed methodically. Work boots, flannel shirts, the coffee mug my sister painted with a terrible cartoon truck when she was 9, my passport just in case. I left the framed photo of us at the first warehouse we rented, her smiling wide, me with my arm around her waist, both of us covered in dust and hope. On the kitchen counter, I left 1 sheet of paper torn from a legal pad. I'm respecting the optics. Hope the rented car photographs well. No signature. No explanation. Just the sentence and the silence underneath it. I loaded the suitcases into the van, locked the apartment door behind me, and slid the key under the mat the way we used to when we first moved in and kept forgetting it. Then I drove. Not toward the High Line, not toward any rooftop. I drove west, past the glowing billboards, past the bridges, until the city thinned and the highway opened up. I didn't have a destination yet. I just needed distance. My phone stayed quiet for almost 3 hours. Then it started. First a text at 8:14 p.m. Hey, where are you? Everyone's asking. Then at 8:47, Marcus, this isn't funny. Call me. At 8:22 the calls began. I let them ring through. By 10:30 the voicemails started arriving. I didn't listen until I pulled into a rest stop somewhere in Pennsylvania, engine idling, rain still tapping the roof. Her first message was crisp, professional, the same tone she used with difficult clients. Marcus, I don't know what this is, but it's embarrassing. People noticed you weren't here. I had to make excuses. Just come back. We can talk in the morning. The second was shorter, angrier. You're seriously doing this? Over a car? Grow up. The third was different, softer, cracked. I got home. Your stuff is gone. The office is empty. I don't understand. Please just tell me where you are. I'm scared. I sat with that one for a long time. Then I deleted them all. The next morning I woke up in a roadside motel with thin walls and a flickering neon sign outside the window. I made instant coffee in the tiny machine, sat on the edge of the bed, and opened my laptop. There were 14 unread emails from Lauren, subject lines progressing from confusion to accusation to desperation. I didn't open them. Instead, I called my old dispatcher from the parcel company I'd worked at before Elevate. He picked up on the second ring. Marcus? Hell, man, it's been years. Yeah, you still hiring drivers? He laughed. Always. You coming back? If you'll have me. Doors open. When can you start? Tomorrow, if you need me. I hung up, feeling something loosen in my chest. Not relief exactly. More like the moment after you finally exhale. 6 weeks later, I had a small studio above a hardware store in a town that still had a working movie theater on Main Street. Rent was cheap. The landlord didn't care what kind of vehicle I drove. I liked the quiet. The emails kept coming for a while. Then they slowed. Then they stopped. One Saturday morning in October, my phone rang with a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Marcus? Her voice was smaller than I remembered. Lauren. A long pause. Traffic noise in the background. She wasn't at the apartment. I'm in Chicago, she said. We opened the new hub here last month. I thought maybe, I don't know. I saw you were back on the road. Someone posted a photo from the loading dock. You looked happy. I didn't respond. I messed up, she said quietly. I got so focused on the story we were selling that I forgot the person who helped write the first chapters. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I watched leaves skitter across the parking lot outside my window. I know you are. Can we meet? Just once? Coffee. No pressure. I just need to see your face when I say it. I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, I said. The silence stretched so long I thought she'd hung up. Okay? She whispered finally. Okay. She didn't call again. Months passed. Seasons turned. I bought a small house on the edge of town. Nothing fancy. Just solid walls and a garage big enough for the van on rainy days. I started coaching youth basketball at the rec center on Tuesday nights. The kids called me Coach M. They didn't care what kind of car I drove. One spring evening, I was at a friend's barbecue. Real friends, the kind who ask how your day was and actually listen. I was standing by the grill when I saw her. Lauren, across the yard, holding a glass of white wine, talking to someone's wife. She looked thinner, tired around the eyes. When she noticed me, her whole body went still. I raised my beer in a small, neutral salute. She lifted her glass in return. Then she turned back to her conversation. She didn't approach, I didn't either. Later, when the sky went indigo and the string lights came on, I said goodnight to everyone and walked to my truck. As I opened the door, I caught sight of her standing alone near the fire pit, staring into the flames. Our eyes met one last time. She gave the smallest nod, like acknowledgement, like goodbye, like understanding that some roads simply diverge and don't cross again. I nodded back. Then I got in, started the engine, and drove home through the warm April night, windows down, radio off. The only sound, the steady hum of tires on pavement and the quiet certainty that I was exactly where I belonged.